1.8 meter satellite dish, you can actually scale that to a 6x6. So that connectivity comes down into this router here. This is one of our new ISR routers. It's 3925. It's also handling our firewall, quality of service. It also has a 3G cellular card in it that we can use in addition to our satellite or as an alternative to our satellite dish. Down below that, I'm just going to kind of move left to right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to stop me because I'll just kind of keep rambling on. 3945 series router here, handling all our call processing. So we're running Communications Manager Express. This router is actually capable of supporting over 200 phones. So with a 2 or 3 meg bilateral connection, you're looking at 20 or 30 simultaneous calls. So we can actually go ahead and deploy phones from here if we need to. Below that, I've got a 3800 series router. This is handling all our video surveillance, all our analog to digital conversion with our cameras to our monitors. Below that, I've got some DVR capabilities, so I can record any of these video feeds I'm receiving from my cameras. Notice here I've got Cisco's video surveillance solution here. So I've got 4 perimeter cameras, one on each side of the vehicle, and then I've actually got a little spy camera mounted up there so they can see what I'm doing in here. And on the back there, I've got a PTZ camera, a pan tilt zoom camera back there on the mast. And these are my controls for that particular camera. I can zoom in, zoom out, spin it all the way around. See my satellite controls. So down here I've got my satellite controls. I'm just a driver, but even I can do it. I can come in here, fire up my generator, turn on my breakers, hit that positive button. That satellite's going to auto-align and auto-acquire its signal. From wheel stop, I've seen this vehicle up and running fully functional in 6 minutes. Average is probably going to be more like 15 to 20 minutes. That was exceptional at that particular time. Basically takes as long to set up the truck as it takes for the satellite to acquire its signal. Up here I've got a little weather station, so I've got some wind loads I need to keep an eye out for. I've got about a 50-mile-an-hour wind load for my mast and my satellite dish, and I need to bring those down. Here I've got 2 DSS feeds, direct TV satellite feeds. We're running CNN weather channel, maybe something to give us a little another perspective on the situation we're responding to, and give us an idea of what kind of weather might be coming our way. If you notice here, I've got one of our upper-end color touchscreen phones, the 7970. You notice on here I've got a 919 area code, so I'm actually drawing dial tone out of Raleigh, North Carolina. The idea behind that, of course, is to be able to draw dial tone out of the affected area. Of course, if the affected area happens to be North Carolina, we can draw it out of San Jose or another Cisco location also. Below that, I've got my just-in-case satellite phone. Just in case we're having problems with the satellite or a 3G, we have the satellite phone as a last resort for communications. This device here is a digital media encoder. I talked about our video surveillance. So any of these cameras here, any of these camera feeds or PCs, feeds, I can actually go ahead and stream this over the internet to a specialist or my boss or whoever might need to see what's happening in the truck or around the truck to get a better idea of how to assess the situation. Other than that, I can actually go out. If I got my little camcorder, I can be filming the incident and then bring that back in, patch that in, stream that over the internet. And that would be viewable on the other end by just like a Windows media player. So I've got 2 operator stations. Usually a 2-man crew runs this area up here. Notice I've got a large bank of radios. So I've got all different radios: UHF, VHF, amateur band, 800 megahertz. Those are all plugged into what's called IPICs. You guys familiar with IPICs? It stands for IP Interoperable and Collaborative Systems. So during a large-scale incident, there may be several different agencies. Well, there will be several different agencies responding to that incident, all using different frequency radios. IPICS is Cisco's solution for bridging together those radios. IPICS takes it a few steps further and not just bridging radios, but basically bridging any 2 talk devices. So how that works here is I've got a list of resources that are currently available to me. I can create a talk group just by turning those on or off. So currently in my talk group, I've got a UHF radio and a VHF radio. And now that they're in my talk group, of course, we can actually go and communicate across frequency. So radio bridging's been done a while. They use a device like this, an ACU 2000, to use radio bridging. Actually, that's on board right now just because it's a compatibility resource for our IPICs. So a lot of first responders already have the cable that goes from their radio to the ACU 2000. So I can plug their radio in, use that as a base station to communicate with the rest of their radios, and that becomes a resource then on my talk group. Also, I've got one of my color touch screens here, and through my services button, I come across a few menus that. So basically, you can have several different talk groups going on at once. This is going to give me the options, give me these menus to be able to select which talk group I'd like to join. I've joined this particular talk group here, so I can now engage these incompatible radios from my IP phone. And then remember, I mentioned any two talk devices. So maybe you're a specialist and you're en route to the incident, but all you have is your cell phone. Provided the cell phone towers are still existent in your area, you can actually go ahead and dial into the IWCE server. Do a series of prompts, bring yourself into that talk room. So you can then be communicating from your cell phone back to the first responder with that brick on his head. So it gets those two people communicating that need to communicate. Maybe you're that specialist and you've got your laptop and you're on vacation in Hawaii maybe. So if you can get to a hotspot or a Starbucks or something like that, you bring this software up on your laptop using a USB headset, you can then engage these radios to the USB headset. So IWCE is a great tool. It allows you to bridge together all types of different types of voice devices. So any two talk devices, very powerful tool. Other than that, I've got a 1200 series access point behind the rack here, providing us wireless connectivity inside the vehicle. And back on the mast, I've got a 46-foot tall mast back there. Up on the top of that is a wireless mesh unit. Now it's creating a wireless cloud around the vehicle, about 1,000 feet from the vehicle. I carry 4 more of those on board so I can extend that wireless cloud, or I can actually jump my line of sight up to a couple thousand meters instead of another wireless cloud and then do another jump. Of course, I'm going to lose a little bit of throughput each jump I have, but I have that capability to extend that wireless cloud out pretty far. I've got a cache in the back there of some mobile IP phones. These work off the wireless mesh unit, have the same functionality as this upper end 7970 phone, but in a mobile device that gives me mobility within that mesh range. This is a new ruggedized version. It's got a larger color screen and longer battery life, and I can also engage my radios from this IP phone. Any questions so far? All right, so this is kind of the operating